Hey everybody, it's me, V, the CPS Scholar, and I'm back once again with another review of And Just Like That Season 1, and this is episode 6, Diwali. So, once again, I'm going to say that this show has a lot of ups and downs for me, only because it's nostalgic, but overall, the writing has been kind of suspect. The storylines are all over the place. I'm just happy to see the ladies, so I'm gonna ride this season out. If they do come back out with a season 2, I'll take a peek and see if I'll keep doing these reviews or I will just pick another show. I'd probably have more fun reviewing the old show. I may do that. Like I said, I might go over the main relationships of the original show because it's a whole case study in of itself. So, with that being said, let's get into this episode. This is a review and recap. I do lots of other shows such as Regular Love. I might start doing The Bachelor, and I'm definitely doing Married at First Sight season 14 because there's some foolishness on that. So be ready for the videos to start rolling. I try to get them in when I have free time because I'm a working woman. So with that being said, let's get started. So in this episode, Carrie is looking around for her new apartment or whatever. So I noticed something that came straight into my mind when I looked at when the credits were rolling by. Cynthia Nixon directed this episode, and I can totally tell. She's very, I hate to use this word over and over again, but anyway, she's very politically correct. She's woke, but with a dash of Karen mixed in. And it really, like, you can tell all throughout the way the episode is written, how it flows, what's considered sexy, but oh my God. But anyways, we're going to get to Carrie. Carrie's in this apartment with lots of windows, lots of sunlight, beautiful apartment, all white. When I went looking for houses, I looked at stuff like that, but I'm more of a beachy cottage person, something that feels more homey, but to each its own. It was a beautiful apartment. But Carrie's there with her tailored suit and tight-ass bun, which to me, it's aging her face like cottage cheese. I don't know what the hell is going on. I got a bun today. Maybe it's in, homage to her. And I'm not a spring chicken myself, but I think I'm a little bit cute. But it ages her crazily. Like some parts of the show, her hair is flowing and curly and she looks like her old self. But when she puts that bun on in those suits, it's like, are you trying to make the whole show depressed or what? But I digress. Her and Anthony are looking at places downtown. Like I said, lots of lights, like lots of windows. And Anthony's talking about the old apartment, the rickety stairs, the crazy looking kitchen, which I talked about in the other video. Nothing's up to date. And he tells her she needs a new place to go with her new her. So they switches over to Seema on the patio balcony. Beautiful. I love Seema because, I have a girl crush on her from back in the day. She's wearing this amazing animal print suit. She's always bringing the fashions. She's sexy. She's everything. I'm always going to have like a bias towards her. But she's out there on the patio talking to her dad, smoking a cigarette. Her dad is watching the game. Like I said, the dialogue in these scenes is crazy. So if I seem like I'm all over the place, it's because his dialogue is all over the place. But he's watching the game. He's asking her if she got a new sari for Diwali. And they start talking about that. The conversation doesn't even make sense between a father and daughter, but I digress. And while they're talking, she basically tells him to tell mom to stop, that she needs to get her own password for Netflix because she's getting flooded with the matchmaker shows and everything. I think everybody's using everybody else's profiles. I live my best life on somebody else's profile, but it is what it is. So, so Dad says sending all those matchmaker shows are a reminder for her to find a man so that she can be happy like him and her mom are. He asks her if she's smoking, and she promptly lies and says she's not. So you can kind of tell they're building up the relationship between Seema and her dad and her parents, and how she doesn't want to fail them. So it goes back to Anthony, and he says he needs to get a new place too because tricking and cheating in a room where him and Stanford rarely did it doesn't feel right. And he's rebounding, and Carrie's like, I don't want to hear all about this, and she's like, I'm the friend that's rebounding, and you're gonna hear all about it. So one day maybe I'll make a video about sexless marriages. I mean, that's a big topic that people don't want to talk about. So I think it would be interesting to expound on that. So we switch over. Now we're at the restaurant with the ladies talking about the new apartment. Carrie is saying the apartment is not hers, so Miranda tells her if she doesn't love it, don't buy it. And Charlotte says, yes, it's too cold and modern for her. And because she seems to be stinking rich, she buys it anyway. She said she was tired of, she had already bought it. So this was a moot conversation. So she said she was tired of dragging Seema around. And she feels like by staying in the old apartment, she's hiding and regressing and doesn't want to live in the past. So Big's gone, so she needs to move on to a new chapter. I totally get it. Then it switches over to Charlotte getting girls ready for school. Rose or Rock is eating toast in bed and driving Charlotte crazy. She tells Charlotte she wants to paint over the mural of her name, Rose, and they want to get rid of this international doll collection because it's offensive. And y'all, I don't understand. I had a conversation with my kids. I was talking about Frida Kahlo, and I was like, oh yeah, she's a great artist, and most of her art is Mexican art. It's actually like based on Mexican culture. Dia de Muerte, all that. And they were like, it's offensive to call something Mexican. And I'm like, but that's the national. I think we're doing too much, people. We're doing too much, and the show is getting on my nerves. Like, oh, the wokeness of it all. Then Lily emphasizes it by saying it's culturally inappropriate, and she's embarrassed when her friends come over. I'm like, those dolls aren't bothering you. It's not like it's some crazy like minstrel type offensive dolls. Anything crazy is literally people in their traditional outfits. There's nobody making any slurs. I don't know what these kids are talking about, but maybe I'm just old too, so I don't know. But and also Rose emphasized, or Rock emphasized that them, because that's the right pronoun, right? Wants to cut the hair, so she wants to cut off the hair. I'm gonna try to not use the pronouns because I don't want to be all over the place. Okay, so we switch over to Miranda, and she's having a daydream about Che. I'm so sick of Che. Even when she's not in episode, I'm like, I don't know who this real lady is. You're probably lovely in real life. I cannot stand your character, and it's getting on my nerves. So she's daydreaming about Che, and when Naya snaps her out of it to ask her to have coffee, and also to help restore a women's shelter. While they're having coffee, the husband calls her to tell her that she's gonna have dinner with this lady they call Fertile Myrtle, and she says she really doesn't want to go because she's tired of having the baby combo, especially since they're having fertility issues. So, like I said, the show jumps again to Seema and Carrie, who are shopping for Diwali outfits. So apparently Diwali is a Hindu celebration of light triumphing over dark. I was around a lot of people who were a part of that culture. I even learned a little bit of Gujarati, especially how to cuss. So I appreciate that culture, the food, the people, just the whole culture itself. So I think it's cool that they were kind of emphasizing it. So Seema says, even though it's supposed to be a celebration of light over dark, it's actually a celebration of her family asking her why she's not married. And I'm sure I was married for a long time, so I didn't really go through all of that until I wasn't married anymore. And they wanted me to get married like 2 seconds later, but that's a whole side story. But Carrie says there's so much more to celebrate other than her not being married. And she states that her parents were arranged and it worked, so they want her to consider that route. And they need to get over it and accept their bad Indian daughter. So, but she doesn't want an arranged marriage because she doesn't want to have to convince herself to love anyone. I'm with you, my sister. I'm with you. She'd rather be alone than do that. And in the middle of all this beautiful conversation, Carrie asked her to be her +1. And because they're in this beautiful sari store, and I love the fashions. Yes, it's culture, but it's also fashions. You see Bollywood. You see all these things. And I love all the colors. I love brightness. And I love that their weddings aren't white, because white symbolizes death in their culture, but so everything is very colorful and bright. That's my thing. I love it. But she asked, can she wear a sari? And she was like, it brings up a whole cultural appropriation versus a cultural appreciation conversation. Cynthia Nixon, can we please stop? The original show was very, very, like, I guess in today's time, offensive. but that's what made it quirky. Um, I like off-brand stuff. Like I love John Waters films. Like if you've never watched the original Hairspray, that's the type of craziness that I like to watch. So when people try to make it too vanilla, it is very, very annoying to me. So it was a good conversation because she was allowed to wear the sari because it was pretty. But me as a black woman, I do get the cultural appropriation thing when certain folks are allowed to wear braids and it's considered cool and chic. And when I wear my braids or wear a little bit of color because I'm a corporate person, it can be taken as ghetto. So it's just different ways that people feel about hairstyles, and hair is a big deal. Clothes are a big deal, but I don't think it was good at this point. But I guess that's what they want to talk about in this episode. Who knows? So it goes over to Charlotte and Carrie going to the storage unit so that they can get some stuff from the old place to bring to the new place. Charlotte says, we only want to bring stuff that sparks joy. They're looking through, and in the middle of them going through the boxes, Carrie sees Big's record collection, and it sparks sadness. Like they had the music, her face was down, and they had to leave. So they end up leaving only with a sun hat, a lamp, and a frying pan. All the necessities, as you can see. So it was crazy. So then they pan back to Carrie in her kitchen, and there's a beep she can't find, and that's the comic relief of the episode. That's the secondary storyline, and it was so like I am horrible with electronics, toaster, whatever thing we have in here, and when it starts beeping, I will unplug that bad boy. I will call people. I cannot stand a beep that I can't figure out where it is. So I totally understood that. If that makes me old, I guess so be it. But in the middle of her trying to find out what the beep was, Anthony calls because him and Stanford had booked a consultation for his facelift. And he asked Carrie to come along so he doesn't do anything crazy. And Anthony says that beeping is always the dishwasher, and I have a totally crazy dishwasher beeping story. That's the thing I had to basically unplug until somebody helped me figure it out because it kept beeping. It said it was unlocked. It was when I first moved to my place, and that was a whole just trauma. So I get it, like I said. So it switches over to Naya at dinner with Fertile Myrtle, and she keeps redirecting the conversation from babies. And in the middle of that, it's like, why aren't you having a drink, Myrtle? And her name is really Myrtle, apparently, because she was conceived on Myrtle Beach. And she's pregnant. And the husband says for them that the other husband, Myrtle's husband, says that the other couple needs to pick up the slack. So they start making excuses for not having babies. And the other couple says, a couple like you should be having babies. Now, I need to say something on this. People need to leave other people's wombs alone. Leave it alone. People are going to have babies when they want to have babies. You don't know if people can. I know it's cute because sometimes when you see a beautiful couple or you're a beautiful, loving couple, you really want them to procreate and have children. Me, I didn't think I was going to have children. I ended up with 3 lovely, beautiful flowers of children. Drive me crazy, but love them to death. But you never know what life is going to bring you. Some people are meant to have children, some aren't. It's all up to how the person want to live their life journey. So I related to this conversation. They do the same thing when they say you should be married or not married. So I get it. It's all up and through this episode. So side storyline back again. Carrie calls maintenance for the beeping. Keep it moving. Okay, we flip over to Miranda, and she keeps masturbating now. Miranda in the original show, I know she's not the same younger lady she was. I just remember she really, really enjoyed sex, and her sex scenes were pretty, they were pretty decent. They weren't on Samantha level. There was different levels of raunchy. But Miranda seemed to always be passionate and desperate for the sex, so that's what made it, watchable, right? This is horrible. She's in the bed. Everything's dark. She's doing what she do like we all do. And her son knocks on the door. And in the middle of her orgasming, she's telling her son about, because he knocked on the door, don't forget you have a math tutor. And then the sex dream with Che was in black and white. She was wearing this, like, what the heck do they call it? one of those Cuban shirts. Oh my God, it's gonna come back to me. But and it's black. There's nothing magical about it, and I could have lived without this whole shit. I'm sorry, I gotta cuss y'all. I'm sorry. So even the sex scene was dry. I was, and she's still calling herself Rambo. I've had people give me nicknames before. My nickname on social media is a nickname that somebody gave me. Uh, Hi. That somebody gave me because I am a smaller stature woman and I'm very nice and sweet. So the opposite, big bad. That's where that comes from. So it is a pet name. Either way, Rambo, I guess is a version of that, but I just hate it, y'all. I just hate it. But the only thing we got out of that the only thing we got out of that nasty masturbating scene is that it switched over to Naya and her husband getting it in, and woo! Finally, some sex scenes I could get with. That was hot. It was sexy. They was both beautiful, and no, not just because they were black. Because Samantha used to have some craziness going on. It was lit too. But this what I was looking for. This is what I'm looking for. I know everybody ages, but everybody's still smashing. I try to use smashing and not using the other word, but I might slip up in other videos. Who knows? But that was a sexy scene. Once it was over and she gets hers, she rolls over and tells her husband she was talking crazy during dinner because she doesn't want to disappoint him. Because the main sentence that she said as she caught her orgasm, like, well, if that doesn't put a baby in me, I don't even want to do the other way. So that's what's on her mind, even while they're having sex. So, she's so scared she's going to disappoint him, and he consoles her and said, no matter what happens, he has her. So that was a good little scene between the characters. And yes, they were black. They're trying to throw little black characters in there, I guess. I appreciate it. I guess it's all right. Whatever. So now we're at the plastic surgery consultation. And he tells the doctor, who's kind of creepy because he's talking in a sexy voice. Let me just take a drink down. Maybe one day I'll tell you guys my first trip to the OB/GYN when I was like 16 and the doctor was hot and sexy. Maybe I'll tell you guys that story one day. Let me know if you want to hear that story in the comments. So either way, he's talking to Anthony and he's telling Anthony, he's touching his face. He says, you have that beautiful Italian skin and you don't need a facelift and that you're hot. So I'm like, okay, so okay, I'm not even gonna go there. But then he starts talking about his assistant. Like they're throwing that joke in there. He says he can't fire his assistant because she's young, a young lady, and went to a good school. Like it was like a jab at me too. And even when he tells Anthony all you need is a little bit of Botox and stuff, he's like he can't ask her to do her job with the needles because it might trigger her. So it's like a jabs at the millennials, I guess. I mean, I've worked with millennials. Very driven. They just don't put up with the same foolishness that we used to put up. Well, I'm in the middle with some of the people put up back in the day because you used to stay at the same job for 20 years. Now they can let you go at any time and you can leave at any time. So there's a different, basically, relationship with the job. So, and they take it as lack of loyalty to the job. So it is what it is. So I guess Carrie's a glutton for punishment because she asked if she needs a facelift. And before the man even touches her face, she starts making excuses for why she looks tired. And even blames Big's death. No, lady, the face doesn't drop. Everybody starts aging. I'm trying to age gracefully myself. Like I said, I'm over 35, so I know it's coming for me. So if I need to get a couple of whatever I need to do, my mother has a baby face. Hopefully, I'll maintain my baby face for as long as I can. I only have to touch up other places. But if I don't, I'm still going to consider myself cute. So it is what it is. So the doctor says she needs a little refresh. She needs and a half lift. He says she's 48, 49. No, damn well that daddy's older than that, but he was, flirting with her a little bit. And he made a really, really strong statement. He says, Mother Nature and Instagram are much harder on women. And I've noticed that with this challenge. People are celebrating themselves with the challenge of the 10 years and stuff. And honestly, what I noticed with the challenges are people have evolved. They probably did a glow up. It could be a glow down, a glow up. Our cameras are much better. We're way more high tech with the makeup. You could look like a whole nother bitch. I mean, pardon me, you could look like a whole nother person, and it's just a magic of a movie magic of makeup, right? But overall, people are beautiful. We all just look different, so it is what it is. So he offers a 3D simulation to see the before and after the facelift, and it was hilarious because when he started taking off the age, they basically photoshopped an old picture of her from the show, and it was so obvious, and I thought that was funny as hell. I was like, and the funny thing is, I remember Carrie or Sarah Jessica Parker actually used to get clowned back in the day because they said she was the most non-sexy, sexy person on television because they thought her face was everything was awkward. So people are just cruel. So it is what it is. He says he could take away 15. He could take away the last 15 years. So that really stuck with her that they can be gone. So then they end up in the park, which is beautiful. I love the park. Charlotte, Miranda, and Carrie discussing the surgery and aging over lunch. Carrie's like, man, I'm tired of talking about all this aging and everything. Let's drink this non-alcoholic bubbly. And they did the non-alcoholic bubbly for the sake of Miranda because she doesn't drink anymore. And she makes the comment that she's replaced drinking with obsessive masturbation. And Carrie says, man, I'm not even thinking about that. My sex drive is low. So I guess it hits women differently. I'm above 35, so I'm going to leave that there and keep it moving. So Miranda says she fantasizes about Che. Here comes them again. She's a them. Even as a them, I don't find her attractive. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the messed up fade. I don't like the grease. I don't like Che, y'all. I'm just gonna keep saying it. And Charlotte was like, I get it because she's cool and charismatic. And Miranda checks her for saying she's like it's supposed to be them. And she said she again had a sex dream about Charlotte she had a sex dream about Che after the comedy concert. I wasn't aware that they call those things comedy concerts. I thought they were comedy shows, but the writing on this show is so weird. It's like an alien wrote this show. They don't really speak how people actually speak in real life, and I hope I'm better at that when I start doing what I do. I'm already doing it, but once I start doing what I do. Miranda says hers is not a fantasy, but a replay. So Miranda was dying to give Charlotte the blow-by-blow of her and Che. And she tells Charlotte about what went down in Carrie's apartment. Remember, there was some tequila and fingering that went on, and Charlotte was blown away, upset, and then Miranda says her and Carrie are good after their fight, and Carrie's like, she said she's good. I never said I was good, so Carrie still has a problem with it. Miranda's just living in her own world, doing whatever the hell she want to do. And then Charlotte was like, it's not good. It's an affair. And Miranda says, it's not an affair. It's a finger. Stop judging. And I was like, I honestly want to know what Che did with that finger. Do they sell that finger? Where can I find this finger? Because this finger has had Miranda dreaming about it for weeks. Like, ball it up. Sell it. I just do something. We want to know. We want to know. So, even though Miranda says stop judging, Charlotte's like, we talk about everything. You can't change the rules now. So they do talk about everything on that show. They've talked about the wildest things at lunch on that show. That's what made it so humorous and kept people watching. So she's like, you can't change the rules now. So she asked Miranda if she's gay, and Miranda says, I'm not gay because Che is non-binary. All right. Basically, Miranda says that the finger made her feel alive, and when Charlotte's just like me, I was like, dang, that finger made you feel alive? Y'all, okay, all right. And then correct her on the pronoun. And then Charlotte just says, you know what, Miranda, you're not progressive enough for this. Miranda tries to storm off, and she can't move because her leg is asleep. Now, that's happened to me, but the way these women are moving around, Blanche on the Golden Girls was more limber and getting it in than these ladies. I don't know if it's because we're in 2020 22 now, but I'm sure that was taped in 2021. And older ladies aren't as limber as they were back in the 80s. I see them older ladies doing yoga and everything. All of the older ladies I see, they still can kick that knee back. I don't know what the hell is going on with this show. I don't know. But either way, Charlotte screams out to Miranda, "You're having a midlife crisis. You should have dyed your hair." So she's not gonna let Miranda be great with this damn gray ass hair that does make her look like she's 90 years old. But I have one little hair in the front, one little gray hair. I'm gonna rock with it. If it gets out of hand, me personally, I will probably dye it. That's just what I like. But I don't see anything with people leaving their hair gray. But Miranda's signature was that red hair. And Carrie chases after her. She's like, "Stop! We already lost Samantha. We're not losing you. People are gone in a second," because she's bringing up the death, right? You can disagree, but you cannot leave. So Miranda goes back, and Charlotte says, "Everybody, why can't everyone just stay who they were?" And Carrie turns and looks and says, "We don't all have that privilege." So speeds ahead, and Carrie comes out in her Diwali outfit. Love the outfit. I thought it was classic her. It was beautiful. I love her flowery mohawk and her long little sexy braids. That's the Carrie I'm used to. I'm not saying older women have to stay dressing like, the younger folks, but we know how to do our own mature sexy when we have to. We still got it, just dress it up a certain way that's classy. So they go to the party, and she speaks to Seema's parents and finds out that Seema created a fake boyfriend who she says is always gone for Doctors Without Borders, right? And Carrie's talking to them, and they're saying maybe she's embarrassed of the parents, or maybe she's embarrassed of the boyfriend, maybe he's fat, all types of crazy stuff. And Carrie's like, "No, that's not it." And so Carrie confronts Seema afterward, like, "Why did you make up a boyfriend?" Even though she rolled with the lie. And Seema says, "It makes it easier for them and her." So to kill the amount of lies that were floating in the air, Carrie finally tells Seema that she hates the apartment. So Seema says, "Sell it." And she gives her this bracelet for string. So that's them bonding again. So it goes to another scene where Carrie's putting back on the famous Carrie necklace. So she's finding herself again. As someone who found themselves again, I totally relate to all of this process. So it's amazing. She's put on a Carrie necklace, and she plays Big's record because she has to accept that he's gone, and she loved him, and that's a way to bond with him while he's gone, no longer with us, right? And opens his box of suits. So she's not running away from the memories, she's embracing them. And she realizes that she loved the last 15 years. So she's back in her old apartment. They do a whole montage. Charlotte is boxing up the dolls. You know how I feel about that. Rose or Rock cuts her hair and covers up the rose because it's offensive now. Miranda sends Che a DM. "Hey, it's Rambo." I don't like it. And we see Carrie leaving the apartment almost like when she went to France, where she had that beautiful flowy dress with the tailored jacket over it, except this time it's red. So overall, and that's how the episode ends. So let me hit you guys with a little bit of stuff I noticed before I run out of here and start getting ready for another video. So overall, the fashion is gone. There's a couple of people that are sprinkling it here and there, but the fashion that the show is known for is a no. All the dudes are now side characters. So either the dudes didn't agree to tape the show, or they just don't give a damn about the dudes. You barely see Harry. Steve, deaf ass, been missing. I love you, Steve. I love you so much. I love you so much. Even I just love you. Has not been seen, I guess, because they gotta have, because Che's her love interest. Oh God. Carrie looks old. I don't know what else to say about that. She looks old, and she is an older woman, but they're aging her on purpose. They have her, like I said, they have her looking like the old maid from the old episode. It's really weird. Carrie has to be super filthy, stinking rich. So I was wondering where she would get all this money from, because she was a writer. But then, if you think about it, Big John, a.k.a. Big, her husband, was a financial guy. So if he could afford to give his ex-wife $1 million as a gift, she has to be swimming in money. So go, girl. There you go. Hypergamy. Do your thing. Them doing the woke thing with the dolls, just, they could have left that whole shit out. Charlotte can't emote due to all the work on her face. So sometimes I think about, maybe I'll go get a little, little Botox. But what they're doing with the face fillers and lip fillers, I want to be able to emote. Y'all are gonna get these wrinkles because I'm gonna smile my ass off. I'm gonna emote. I'm gonna make a face. Y'all gonna get all of this because Charlotte can barely act because you cannot tell that she has emotion because her face is frozen. Let that sink in. All right. The beeping never gets resolved. We don't know what happened to the beeping. I think it was a time filler. Fertile Myrtle and the side story. So you mean to tell me Nia is this smart? They built her up as this smart, confident black woman, but she needs Miranda to validate not having a baby? Okay. Brady, Miranda's son, and the sex is grossing me out. It's borderline. It's suspect. I don't know why they keep putting it in there. I could live without it. I'd rather have the older ladies be getting their freak on. Another set of at least 20 something ladies. Nobody wants to see Brady and his little girlfriend Louisa getting it in. Even though I knew people when I grew up with, I went to high school, their parents did used to let them smash in the house. I do remember that. But I don't want to see that. I'm good. Miranda's storyline is insulting all the way around. They just made it Cynthia Nixon's wife with leaving man for woman. But the way she just quit drinking, like there's people with real problems. You don't quit drinking like that. The way that lady was drinking, they just said, guess what? This storyline is over now. Stop bringing up Samantha. She ain't here no more. She gone. She don't want to work with y'all. Maybe if you guys give her enough money, she'll come back. Highly doubt it. Stop bringing her up. It's stupid. And once again, I'm gonna give a shout out to Carrie's Diwali outfit. Loved it. Love the colors. Love the flowers. Classic Sex in the City. With that being said, I love you all. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna try to get these videos out before that work week starts. And for those that are going into the work week, keep strong. You're doing your purpose. You have another day to do better the next day. Love you guys. Until next time.